Now, this is a game that I've been playing a huge amount of, and, well, maybe you'll enjoy it too. Welcome to Warhammer Chaosbane Reformers. This video is kindly sponsored by Big Ben Interactive, and if you'd like to check out the game, there is a link in the description. Now, what better way to start off a video like this than with a big boss battle, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. So, I'm playing as a Wood Elf Ranger right now, and we're up against the Great Unclean One. Because there are 4 different Warhammer gods that you're going to be facing in the game, and the first one is, of course, Nurgle. And so you're running around in sewers and dank areas, and you gotta, dank and dingy areas, and you gotta try and, survive and try and save people, exterminate cults and everything, and then eventually you will come here and face the Great Unclean One himself, and I'm very much hoping that I will be able to do this because he's hard. He's actually really hard. He's got a massive difficulty to him. His abilities are very, very difficult for me to dodge. I don't know whether that's just me, but maybe it is. Anyway, we're just going to try and burn him down as best we can, but as you can see, he has another ability right there, which is basically like a damage shield. It kind of prevents him from taking damage for a few seconds, which is actually really powerful. I think it's really powerful because then he has these other abilities that can also do a lot of environmental damage. As you can see right here, we have like the acid spit and a variety of other things. So I'm going to try and... Ooh, I went right into that shockwave. That was really bad. But I think we might have him. Oh no! Another damage shield. That was bad. Okay, well, let's try and just eliminate the adds as best we can. And he's using his poison spike sealing attack once again, which is not very good for me, and there's the poison spit. Oh, and my pets were able to eliminate him. Great. Fantastic. Okay, so now am I dying still? Am I dying while this cutscene is playing? I hope not. No, it doesn't seem like it. Anyway, he's fading away, and there I am, needing a health potion.
I sensed the greater demon force its way into our world and feared the worst. You have done well, young prince.
It nearly was, High Lord Master. Blessed Isha, it nearly was.
The Eye of Argoth, where is it?
Over there, atop Kessler's remains. Beware the thing, Witch Hunter. It has a way of sticking its claws into your mind.
Leave it to me. I'll make sure it doesn't tempt anyone else.
What about the sorceress?
She calls herself the Harbinger. According to Kessler, she's tracked down the remnants of Arzavar-Kul's army and is searching for a champion to lead it.
Where is she, this Harbinger of Chaos?
I don't know, High Lord Master. Kessler refused to say.
Prague.
What's that?
My agents in the north tell me that a large part of Kul's army fled the Battle of Kislev and returned to the ruins of Prague. I'd assume they would take ship and return to the Chaos Wastes, but now that I've heard about this Harbinger, I'm not sure.
Perhaps so. It will be dangerous, but at the moment I see no other choice.
But it's impossible. Prague is hundreds of leagues from here.
Not so. There is a waystone near Prague that we can use. Meet me at the tower when you are ready to proceed.
Oh, yes, I'm more than happy to meet you at the tower. And there we go. We actually completed our quest as well. That gives me a little bit of additional experience. And we have now unlocked a whole bunch of extra game modes. We are now level 17 too. So now is a good time as any to go through some of the higher level skills. I've actually, as I said, been playing the game quite a bit because I wanted to try and, experience all the game had to offer because it is fun, and also because I wanted to show you some of the higher level gameplay. Now, obviously, I'm going to be showing some of the other classes a little bit later on, but for now, let's take a look at the Wood Elf Ranger. Now, the reason why I chose the Wood Elf Ranger is because I had heard that it was more of a pet-based class, and you can play it as anything you like. Don't get me wrong. You can play it as anything, that you want to do, customizations and so on and so forth. So, for example, right here, my current R ability is a summon. Now, I've just leveled up and unlocked this, which is the superior version of that spell. So as you can see, it summons a Dryad that attacks and poisons enemies. The basic version does not poison enemies, so that's obviously a pretty awesome upgrade. Now otherwise, I am basically an AoE build as much as possible, but I am using Master Archer Superior, which is a flurry of arrows and a wide arc. Slowed or rooted enemies take more damage. Now I'm using another ability that has a chance to slow enemies, so there's a little bit of synergy there. So if I use my right click and then use my left click to deal some additional damage, then I can do that. Obviously my left click is the energy generation abilities, because obviously I use energy to attack and use abilities and so on and so forth. Now, the cool thing about this ability here is that it has a very fast fire rate, and you're going to be doing a lot of damage. Now, why does that make a difference? Well, the other abilities also deal a lot of damage, but there's something very special here. There is a god skill tree, and as you can see right here, this is my current benefits from the god skill tree. I have a pretty significant amount of fragments. You actually pick up these fragments from, well, killing enemies along the way. Now here's the thing. This is the big deal about that particular ability. Hitting an enemy grants a chance to make a small Dryad appear. So if you are going to use your left click, if you're going to use the same ability that I'm using, then you're going to have an even greater chance of getting more and more and more Dryads to spawn. And as a result of that, you're going to have a really fantastic time. Now, I don't know whether you noticed, but I was summoning groups of Dryads in that fight against the Great Unclean One, and this is that ability. It summons four Dryads, I believe, and allows you to have 4 maximum summons as well, which is pretty cool. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spec a little bit into the god skill tree. Going to go along here, and I don't have enough fragments, unfortunately, to unlock this, but hopefully I'll be able to get to Seeds of Blood Superior, which will then enable me to have a higher chance to make a small Dryad appear. Now, you can go to a variety of different other places along the skill tree as well. So, for example, you can go to the contributing to the death of a champion, grants all players a critical chance bonus. That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty nice. You know, if you're playing in a group, that's a really nice way to go. And then you have another thing which is more to do with healing people and a little bit more support based abilities. But you can see here that the tree is massive. It is just absolutely massive, and you can go anywhere you like. Health regeneration being increased, sanctify a large area, it slows enemies in it, and so on and so forth. It's just crazy how big this actually is. And then you have your own skills. So, for example, every single time you level up, you do have, obviously, you have different varying levels of the skills. So, for example, you just start off with rank 1, and then when you get to rank 8, level 8, then you're going to be getting rank 2 of this ability. And here's the thing, you have a certain amount of points that you can have allocated to your character due to its level. And you can only have a certain amount of skills on your bar that will then affect what kind of bonuses you have. So, for example, I cannot equip this ability as well as everything else. I was actually using Spiral Cut quite a bit along the way leveling up, but then I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to try and optimize myself a little bit more, and that's when I started using Elven Shot instead. But as you can see, this requires 10 skill points. I only have 8 skill points available, so I'd have to remove something from my bar to be able to use that. So there is a lot of selecting going on, a lot of different changes to make and all that sort of thing. So we're just going to be skipping through a little bit of the story here, and we're now going to be going to Prague. This is actually the first time we have left this area. This is all new to me going forward, so I'm actually very excited to see what we're going to be experiencing going forward. But now that we have technically eliminated the Nurgle presence, I'm not entirely sure which god we're going to be facing next, because, as I said before, there are 4 gods that you're going to be facing, and they are obviously Nurgle and Khorne are among them. I don't know about the other 2, so I guess we'll find that out as we go forward. So as you can see right here, I actually have my inventory, and I could start equipping some more stuff. Personally, I find that the comparing of loot goes very, very quickly. You can see exactly what it's going to give you. So, for example, the swords are going to give you a little bit less damage, and the shield is going to give you a little bit more in the case of this talisman. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. Otherwise, I think I'd like to try and find, where's the trader? Is this the guy that, yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is a donation system. So this is a bit different from a trader of sorts. You can trade, but it's that ability is currently locked at the moment. But donations increase your reputation with the Collectors Guild, and when you're able to donate and collect more and more items and give them to the Collectors Guild, you're able to unlock a variety of different abilities that you can then equip to your bar, like very useful passives and things like that. So we're just going to trade everything right here, and hopefully, yes, there we go. We got to the next level. So we are now getting some reputation rewards. Ooh, look at that. We got 50 red fragments. Oh, we're getting 50 of every single fragment. That's actually really useful. So that's great. You going to give me anything else? Oh, well, I don't think they gave me anything else, but that's all I really wanted, to be honest, because that means that I will now be able to spec into this. That gives me additional critical damage, and I think, yes, I can even spec into this, which is even better. Great! So that gives me the Seeds of Blood superior ability, and technically I can continue speccing along here, and I can actually get over into this ability eventually, which summons a group of dryads that attacks enemies. Each enemy killed by a dryad grants a chance for a new dryad to appear. So completely pet-based. I actually really like those kinds of builds, so we're going to try and go for something like that. I don't have enough fragments anymore, though, which is, an utter travesty, isn't it? But we're going to then go into our skills and take a look. There it is, Seeds of Blood Superior, so let's put that on there. Can I put this one on as well? No, I can't. As you can see, I only have 2 points available, but I think this is going to be very, very cool to see it actually at work. Anyway, let's actually go into Prague and actually see what's going on there. Alright, so we are now in Chapter 2, and I've actually been playing for a pretty considerable amount of time, and I don't know, there's a lot of content. There is actually a lot of content, because I was playing Act 1 for, I don't know, at least 2-3 hours, and if Act 2 is about the same, and then you have the infinite dungeon modes and all kinds of other different modes that you can do. Boss Rush is one of them. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do after the story is complete. Anyway, let's see if I can summon some dryads here. Oh yes, of course, this is a dead end, but we do have a chest here. Yes, give me this. Thank you very much. Okay, so as you can see, really easy to see when a piece of loot is better or worse for you. I was actually wearing and using a legendary bow there, or a very, very rare bow, and it has now been outclassed by a blue. Isn't that crazy? Yes, absolutely. Anyway, let's make our way down here. We have to recover more supplies than the enemy by the looks of things. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's all right. Now, every single class has an archetypal ability, and the Wood Elf Ranger's archetypal ability is the tactical roll. So every other class has obviously a unique ability in that regard. So you can see here, that's the tactical roll that I'm using at the moment. It's really, really useful for getting out of sticky situations. I found that it has been very, very crucial in staying alive, and it was very crucial against the Great Unclean One as well. Now, the cool thing about the Wood Elf Ranger especially is because you can actually spec it to do whatever you want, really. You can spec it to be more of like a critical damage kind of class. You can spec it to be a pet build, a poison build, all kinds of different customizations available for it. Personally, as I've said, I really love pet characters in action RPGs, and so that's obviously what I had to go for here as well. And personally, I think it does it very well. The only thing that I would say that I really need, though, is more cooldown reduction. Oh yes, I need more cooldown reduction, because then I can actually, summon those dryads even more often, and it's just really, really good to do that. Now, what I have seen so far is that when you first begin an act, there aren't too many enemies. And obviously that's exactly how it's supposed to be, because, you know, they're just easing you into the new area, the new enemies that you're going to be facing and all that sort of thing. And, you know, there's not going to be huge amounts of enemies. But as I was getting closer to the end of Act 1, there were so many enemies to kill. It was really, really fun to have so many enemies just dying from crazy amounts of damage that I was able to deal out. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. I like that quite a bit. Anyway, what we're also going to do is I'm actually going to show you another special ability that they have given every class. I think every class has this. As I say, I've only been playing the Wood Elf Ranger so far, but we are going to be playing a different class a little bit later on, just so you can actually see what's going on in the early game and see what kind of abilities the other classes have and things like that. I think we might play a melee character a little bit later on. So maybe the Dwarven Slayer, because you can play a Dwarven Slayer, an Empire Soldier, and a High Elf Wizard or Mage. And that's pretty cool, I gotta say. And what I've actually heard that every single class is extremely different. It's extremely different to one another. So, you know, if you pick the Wood Elf Ranger and you pick the other ranged class, which is the High Elf Wizard, you're not actually going to have that much of a similar experience. Like, yeah, sure, you know, they're both ranged characters. That's basically where the similarity ends. And I think that that's actually really cool, because obviously if you're playing a different class, if you're playing, you know, if you first start off like me and you're playing the Wood Elf Ranger, then obviously if you then create a High Elf Wizard, you don't want to be you don't want to be playing the same exact class. So it's really nice to hear that each class is fundamentally different from the other. So yeah, anyway, it seems like that is where I need to go for the next quest objective. But what I'd like to do is try and find a very large amount of enemies so I can actually show you this. You see this little orb right here? It's at 100%. Yeah, that's a. It's kind of like a chaos orb. It's like bloodlust. It gives you a very powerful attack that you're able to use for a very limited amount of time, and this is really good, really useful in killing elite enemies and things like that. And normal enemies will give you the little blood orbs or something along those lines that will fill up your power ability like that. There you go. Do you see those? Do you see those two things right there? Those are the things that you can pick up to fill up that orb. I'm actually going to use it now so you can actually see what it's all about. Yeah, look at that. Yes. Exactly. It makes you feel very powerful. And you're able to basically clear out any enemy very, very quickly indeed. But obviously then you're going to have to power it up again, and that does take a bit of time. So you're going to have to choose when to use it very strategically. Anyway, let's see. Anything good for me here? Yeah, there's actually some good pants, even though these are grey. Are those grey pants that I just put on? Yes, they are, but they're actually better than what I had before, which is somewhat amusing. But anyway, let us now leave Prague's streets. And I think I actually did level up. Didn't I level up something? Yes, there we go. So this is another energy generation ability. So obviously if you've played any action RPGs in the past, you'll know that there are usually 2 resources, and it's the same here as well. And these 3 basic skills, you can choose which one you want to use. Sureflight Arrow, Master Archer, which is what I'm using, and Crippling Blade. And that throws a dagger that slows enemies, which is pretty fun. But anyway, all of these give you energy, and they all give you a different amount of energy as well. And then you have obviously your advanced skills, and you have a variety of different things that you can get there. I haven't even unlocked all of them yet, so that just says exactly what's going on there. I mean, there's just so many different things that you can do with this game. It's crazy. There's god skills, there's passive skills, there's collector's guild skills, as you can see right here. So, you know, when you donate your loot to those merchants and things, then you can get these passive skills too, which is really quite nice. As you can see, enemy champions deal less damage and take more damage, maximum health increase, and loot quality. Increased chance of finding a high quality item, plus 100%. That's pretty crazy. And then you have passive god skills, and then you also have fan skills as well. So there are a huge amount of different skills to choose from, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some of the other classes. Alright, so here we are on the character creation screen. and we have the Empire Soldier. So the Empire Soldier, he is kind of like a tanky guy. He's got a shield, obviously. He's got a sword, and he primarily uses his shield to deal some damage as well. Then you have the High Elf Mage, who's obviously going to be using quite a lot of magic and a variety of different spells. And then you have the Dwarven Slayer, which I think we are going to be selecting. I think this is going to be pretty fun. So a Slayer lives and dies for glory and redemption, honorable and fierce, bragi Axebiter, never shies away from a fight with the most dangerous enemies he encounters. So let's create him. And we're playing on normal, and we are going to play. And you can play all of this in co-op as well, so if you have some friends, then bring them along, and it's going to be even more fun. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to skip a couple of these things, and we're going to just take a look and see what our abilities are all about, and just see the beginning of the game. So you can see here that the city is being ravaged by all kinds of crazy enemies here, and let me see. Ooh, look at that! That's his archetypal ability. It's like a hook. Wow. So should I say the obligatory statement? Get over here. You know? Yes, that's a Mortal Kombat reference. Anyway, point is, this is. I like it. I like it. You know, playing the Wood Elf Ranger is very, very different from playing the Slayer because you're getting right in people's faces, and obviously I have no abilities just yet, but we are going to be getting those relatively soon. And obviously they're now going to teach me about healing and things like that. I've also bound my keys a little bit differently than to how it is by default. So, yeah, there's also that. Anyway, we're going to speak to the soldier. That is that done, and we can now get some of these things. And this is automatically equipped initially, so that's pretty nice. Anyway, let's have a look at our skills here real quick. So we have Fury, Axe Throw. Oh, wow, so you can actually create a ranged character if you so desire. That's actually pretty cool. So I'm just going to go to the very bottom here because I'd like to maybe equip some things that can help me out in leveling a little bit. So let's... can I not put this skill on here? I can't put this skill on here just yet. That's a shame. Oh well, whatever the case, I'm ready to murder some more enemies. Oh, there we go. Got some skill points because we've leveled up. And I now have another ability. Oh, look at that. Ooh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I've never played the Slayer before, so all of what you're hearing right now is completely because I have no idea what this guy's capable of, and it's actually really fun. Look at that. He's got the archetypal ability. Wow, he's able to... Wow, he moves... Does he move even faster than the Wood Elf Ranger? That's pretty crazy, if so. Wow, that is pretty fun. Okay, so... Wow, yeah, I'm gonna have to play this guy much more, and we'll see how we do with him, because I want to see what kind of abilities he gets later down the line. Wow. Okay, so yes. So now, because of obviously my Wood Elf was able to kill the Great Unclean One at the end of Act 1, we have now unlocked these other modes. So we have Boss Rush and we have Expedition. And I think I'm actually going to go and do an expedition because this is kind of like... this is kind of like going into the area with no real objective but to maybe kill enemies. Yeah, it just says clear the area. So this is a really nice way to level up. And personally, I feel like it's really cool that they've done this because... And so early as well. I mean, I feel like it might be better to have this from the very beginning, but then... it might be too easy to complete the story if you're fully leveled and so on and so forth, but I don't know. I think it's really cool that they have added this so incredibly early in comparison to other games where the story is kind of required up until you get to like almost max level. So anyway, I'm just going to continue murdering everything in my path, and actually, you know what? I'm going to end this episode off here because I want to play this guy some more. And maybe, just maybe, we're going to see this guy in the next episode, because I'm actually having a lot of fun playing him so far, and I think he could become a sure favorite of mine. What is that? What is that? Get out of here. What? It's like a... It's like a huge amount of small guys just amalgamating themselves into one big guy. That seems like what it was. Anyway, let's try and take this guy out if we can. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need some more. Some better axes, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely have some better axes. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. If you'd like to check out the game, there is a link in the description. And otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.